Welcome to the People's Guild, a podcast to help you better understand the Splinterlands ecosystem. Whether you are looking to enter the world of Splinterlands, whether you are looking to invest in Splinterlands, or if you are already invested in Splinterlands, then this podcast is for you. In this episode, we discuss the recent news regarding the validator nodes, and after a week of the new ranked reward system, we tell you our thoughts. And stay tuned to the end of the podcast, where we introduce a new segment to the show, where B Jangles and I challenge each other to a battle and discuss rule sets and strategies. Enjoy.
All right, well, let's get into it. So about a week's time ago, Yaba hopped onto the official announcements and made it pretty clear that the team had garnered quite a bit of feedback on the validator node licenses, kind of remaining a stagnant investment until much later in the year, Q4 at the latest, when these licenses would begin to generate any sort of return on investment, be that through distributed SPS and vouchers. So what he came on to the official announcement channel saying was that vouchers would begin to be paid out as soon as next week, which happened a couple of days ago. And SPS would be coming as early as August for license holders. So today, Waskell and I kind of want to dive into the pros, the cons, and what does this mean generally for kind of the Splinterlands economy, potential investors, current investors, and generally players moving forward. So let's go ahead and get started here. Do you want to go ahead and provide us with some high-level thoughts first here?
Yeah, well, as you sent me that message in the morning with the news, I was definitely very happy. I think, on a personal level, I think to start to get rewarded so early was definitely great news. And yeah, as you mentioned, we just started to get paid yesterday. We got our first airdrop yesterday, right, of vouchers, 8.33 vouchers yesterday.
A couple of additional licenses have been bought since then, so it's 8.026 yesterday.
Okay.
But above 8.
Yeah, so I think there's two ways. Yeah, there's definitely positive. So if we kick off with the positive, I am thinking about selling my vouchers to help boost my personal deck, and also possibly using that money to buy SPS. So on a personal level, I'm more than happy. How about you? What are you hoping to use those vouchers for?
Yeah, so my initial reaction was pure excitement, especially considering when we were going into kind of sharing this investment of the license, the thought was, exactly what everybody knew going into purchasing potentially a license, in that we would be waiting 6 to 9 months before we started receiving rewards. So any expediting of that reward distribution timeline, initially I was very welcoming of. Obviously, getting vouchers for the better part of the next 60 days, that's not an insignificant number of vouchers that we will have received by the time that Rift Watchers is coming to market. And I think that's kind of my game plan, is to set myself up for, I'm just going to stack vouchers for the next couple of months. I'm not going to touch them, and see how the market responds to Rift Watchers. Yaba has made it very clear that he's going to steer as far away as possible from delivering any kind of early expectations as far as what kind of volume per pack of Rift Watchers of vouchers is going to be required. So I think, stacking for the next couple of months, see how the market responds.
So he hasn't confirmed if it will be 1 voucher or 2 vouchers or 3 vouchers. He hasn't confirmed that yet. Per pack
or percentage of vouchers. I think it all depends on the price of vouchers, and obviously we've doubled overnight the total number of vouchers that are being distributed into the market. So 3 days ago it was 20,000 total, and that was all coming from those folks who were receiving vouchers as a reward for staking their SPS. Now, simply by holding a validator license, you've made yourself eligible to receive part of that additional 20,000 vouchers just by holding the license. So no, there has not been any confirmation around what does the pre-sale of Rift Watchers look like, what is the requirement of vouchers, how is SPS going to be equated into that equation. Obviously SPS is going to be a significant part of purchasing Rift Watchers, but what is the percentage between SPS and vouchers in procuring a pack of Rift Watchers is yet to be determined.
I think it also has to be noted that there are, if my memory serves me correctly, 2,464 nodes left. So each of those would need 500 vouchers. And that would mean a total of, if my calculations are right, 1,232,000 vouchers needed, just off the top of my head. And currently, I believe there are about 1 million available, and only 50,000 of those available are under $3. So
interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then there's not enough vouchers currently on the market just for the nodes, and that's not even including Rift Watchers. So I think and this is going to the negative, I think people were concerned that this new influx of vouchers is going to flood the markets and thus push the price of vouchers down. And this is where people are concerned and have raised their concerns that people have planned ahead by purchasing vouchers in the hope possibly of the price increasing or of increasing their SPS, right? So I think I definitely understand where they're coming from, because I think personally, I don't like bad surprises, or I don't like a surprise that's not beneficial for me. So I think if you hear something like this and you've planned ahead, I can understand people's frustration.
Yeah, I agree with that. That initial excitement waned fairly quickly towards kind of taking a step back and looking at what is the potential effect on the overall market. And there's been a couple of kind of predominant voices that have come out sharing their concern for this move by Matt and the team. I am I am definitely of the position where I'm going to give Yaba and the team the benefit of the doubt and operate under the assumption that additional utility for both vouchers and staked SPS is on the horizon. I find it very hard to believe that, given everything that has going into developing a very strong economy for the game, both short and long term, that this was a complete oversight by Matt and those kind of sculpting the economy. So that said, and to reiterate, I feel like there's potentially going to be an announcement in the next couple of weeks in terms of how can staked SPS regain its foothold in terms of overall utility, where a lot of that was lost to the license rewards payouts coming sooner than expected, and additional utility being provided towards voucher. A couple of great ideas that have kind of been floating around as far as staked SPS, and I thought this was brilliant. I think shout out to Godzilla and Aftersound for kind of articulating this thought both in the Mav chat and on Aftersound's YouTube channel. The idea around staked SPS equating to a differentiated ECR. So the idea was essentially that if you have 5,000 SPS staked, your ECR, instead of losing 1% each battle, you lose 0.095. So you lose just under 1%. And then kind of scaling that to at 10,000 staked SPS, for example, you would lose 0.9%. And then at 15,000, you would lose 0.875. So it's diminishing returns in terms of overall savings of ECR burnings, but at the same time, it's very impactful. It's very valuable in terms of you're not expending nearly as much ECR over the course of a series of battles. So that's one thought that I thought was quite brilliant in how the team can very quickly, and I'm not a coder, but assumedly pretty simply reward SPS stakers for those folks who are considering unstaking SPS because they've lost the value of voucher distribution. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I think the the airdrop finishes in, I believe, around 50 days. It could be less now, right? So as soon as that happens, there's not an incentive for everyone. There's still an incentive for the people who are doing tournaments to stake their SPS, right? But not everyone is doing tournaments, right? So it's definitely advantageous to think of utility for SPS and think of it quickly, you know.
Yeah, and that's something else I think I don't know if I've heard or read many folks touch on, and that's a very important point that you bring up is the tournament. A lot of those tournaments you can only enter with a set value of, you know, X SPS stake. Otherwise, you're ineligible to even enter the tournament. And you and I have talked kind of ad nauseum over the last couple of weeks the pure value of those tournaments right now. And you know, we've gone as far as discussing the idea of really ramping up our overall SPS to be eligible to enter those higher payout tournament. And yeah, I don't think that when we're talking about kind of currently realized value of SPS and particularly staked SPS, I think tournaments kind of gets swept under the rug a little bit, just because vouchers was kind of pulled away. But I do think that's a very significant and current utility for.
Well, I think once SPS. You start. I was about to say, once you start doing well in these tournaments, you start to earn SPS, but you only have to get over, you know, to be in the top 128, I believe, to double your SPS, right? That you have paid to enter the tournament.
5x.
5x. Yeah. So I think, like, on the personal level, I've been, you know, I've been 5x in my SPS, and there's been tournaments that I have definitely been interested in, but I just don't have enough SPS, and that's definitely incentivizing me to buy more SPS or just to accumulate SPS as quickly as possible to get in these higher ranked tournaments, or where the SPS needed is a lot higher. I believe it's the one I looked at the other day was 9,000 SPS staked. So, and the rewards are very nice indeed. If you're playing 3 tournaments a week, you're going to do really well, man.
Agreed. Yeah, I think you know, obviously the higher the staked SPS requirements, the bigger the payouts, the bigger the buy-in. But the reward is just massive. So if you know, I think a couple of the tournaments that you and I compete regularly in are the War Seminary, which is a 4 SPS buy-in. If you place above, like you said, place 128, and I would say that the average field is probably about 250. So if you're in the 50th percentile or above, you're going to 5x your investment immediately. And I would say that, you know, I play routinely in the Scarred Hand Diamond tournament as well, and I'm punching above my weight. My deck is very, very much a gold deck. But if I can go 500 in that tournament, right now I'm sitting at a game below 500. That pretty much guarantees me that I'm going to end up in that 50th percentile, which equates to a 5x on my investment. So I would encourage folks, if you have the staked SPS, a great way to kind of realize the current utility of that is get into as many tournaments as possible, even if you're punching above your weight, so to speak. You know,
I think also going back to what you mentioned last week, and if people weren't listening last week, when you go down to the lower leagues at the end of the season, you had that really good idea just to, like, for example, we are in gold, but we get knocked down to silver. So as soon as you hit silver, you just join all those silver tournaments before you start grinding, and then the entry fee is a lot cheaper, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So if you're entering as a silver league player into a silver league tournament, then your buy-in is going to be 2, 3, 4 SPS. However, if you're looking to enter into a silver tournament from a league above gold, for example, or diamond, you're going to be spending, I'm looking at one right now, it's 45 SPS. However, if you enter as a silver player, it's 2 SPS 10.
Yeah.
So you know, the best that you can do in this tournament, entering from a league above, is an equal payout. The payout at the top places are 45 SPS, and you know, unless your name is UA or half blue, I don't think you can really guarantee yourself that you're going to end up in that top 4. It gets really competitive in the second round of these tournaments. But
yeah, well, for example, I entered 3 tournaments. Yeah, I entered 3 tournaments this week, and my total outlay was less than 10 SPS, but I definitely recouped about 30 SPS. And I imagine you fared better, or you have entered more tournaments, right?
Yeah, I think I'm averaging probably 3 or 4 a week.
Yeah.
There's a couple that just cropped up in the last day or two that I'm going to get entered into. The War Seminary Gold was just put on the docket for the 10th of June. Yeah, so I think in terms of overall immediate value, current value of staked SPS, granted we have lost some of the utility or the value of the utility in terms of vouchers, total supply being doubled, but I think tournaments is the clear winner in overall current value of staked SPS. As far as vouchers, I am going to be very curious to see what the team does to provide utility towards vouchers outside of Rift Watchers and Rebellion. As far as I know, those are the two big upcoming avenues to leverage your voucher balance for utility. I think in the town hall a couple of days ago, there was discussion around potions that would replenish your ECR, and perhaps that's going to be purchasable via vouchers. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to move the needle in terms of overall utility applied to vouchers. Is there anything that you've kind of seen or heard?
Well, I think is what you said before. I think that with the nodes and Rift Watchers and Rebellion, if we need, or yeah, depending on the vouchers needed to purchase those, the team just has to be careful. And this is what Matt is definitely thinking, has thought of already. He's probably 3 steps ahead of everybody else. That if you give it too much utility, there won't be enough vouchers on the market. And then, people are not happy at the moment, believing that there's going to be too many. But if there's not enough, then people are going to be complaining again. So I think...
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
But it sounds like you and I are both in the same boat, where granting Yaba and the development team responsible for the economy the benefit of the doubt. I think they've got some cards up their sleeves that they've yet to reveal around additional realized value and utility for both vouchers and SPS, staked SPS. And yeah, I just find it really hard to believe that this would have been a pure oversight by those guys.
What's your reasoning behind stacking up the vouchers and buying Rift Watchers? Are you thinking that, as in the pre-sale for Chaos Legion, there was that card drop that everyone, the people's favorite, Dr. Blight? Are you thinking along those lines?
Yeah, I don't know. I think ultimately my plan is just kind of hold and watch how the market responds. I think we'll get a definite sneak preview of the cards to come before the cards are released through the packs. The voucher price and SPS price is going to respond accordingly. And if vouchers moon before then, if they right now on Hive Engine, vouchers are going for $1.11, $1.12 per voucher. And we're getting a good chunk every day. And by the time Rift Watchers is released, we will have the better part of 300 vouchers a piece. If vouchers go to $2, $3, $4 a piece, it might be in my best interest to sell that big stack and buy the packs that I can sell for SPS or sell for DEC, whatever it is, and either wait for the pre-sale to finish and just use SPS to purchase Rift Watchers, or if vouchers don't have the price increases that I just discussed, then maybe the best move is to use the vouchers myself and get in on the pre-sale.
That sounds like a good plan. Yeah, it does sound like a good plan. Just wait. I'm just impatient. I want to build up my deck, but yeah, maybe I just need to take a step back, just wait and get ready to snipe. All right, man. So we've had a week of the new ranked rewards. How have you been finding it? After the initial excitement and buzz, are you still buzzing with excitement?
My rewards have left a lot to be desired. I have yet to pull anything kind of worth writing home to mom about.
And you were playing in gold, right?
Yeah.
Gold 1.
So I think I achieved gold 1. So I started the season at silver 1, and I think I pushed to gold 1 on day 3 of the new season. So I've been receiving reward shares according to gold 1 rating for for the better part of the last week at this point. And my rewards, yeah, they just nothing substantial. I've gotten a couple 300-400 DEC days. I did get one gold foil common card, one of the new ones, the Ever Hungry Skull. I sold it.
Diamond Hands.
yeah, that's my nickname. But yeah, so I'm really counting on. I'm at about 60 chests for end of season at this point, and that's where I am really counting on seeing the law of averages kind of come to fruition for me. Yeah. I'm hoping for end of season rewards to really reward me for the time and attention I put in over the last couple of weeks. Yes. That said, competition is fun. I've been able to put together some pretty substantial streaks. I think I'll go on
losing streaks.
I'll just leave it as streaks. You can open for interpretation. It's forced me to implement some strategy that had never really entered my mind prior to this season, which has been fun. So it's been a mixed bag. We'll revisit this after the season. So in about 2 weeks, we'll be able to reflect on the first season of the new ranked rewards, end of season reward, and I'll kind of give you my verdict. But it's been a mixed bag. Rewards left a lot to be desired. Competition and fun is definitely there, which I think is really why we play the game, right? The rewards are the icing on the cake. The fun is what keeps you coming back every day. What about you, man?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think my daily rewards have been good, not amazing, but I'm also banking on my end of season rewards to see the real benefits of this new ranked reward system. I think
you're in gold 1 also, right?
I'm in gold 1.
And how are you sitting in the awards right now?
49.
Okay.
I pushed last night for 50 and I lost about 9 out of 10. So I thought maybe it's best just to call it a night. Just that silly number. I just had to get 50, hadn't I? But then just push my rating all the way down. But that's what this game does to you. But I think what you just mentioned before, that's really good to hear, that it's pushing you to think of new tactics. And that's what this game should be, right? Just like having fun, but developing new strategies, and just the rewards should just be that extra bonus at the end of the day.
Yep.
So yeah, I think I think sometimes, like anyone, when you open up those chests and it's like mainly commons, you just get a little bit deflated. I think that's just natural. Like everyone's hoping, to pull those gold foils. And I think maybe I just went along with the wave of optimism. I was just banking on pulling lots of excellent cards each day, but that is not the case, which in some ways it probably shouldn't be as well. If it's too easy to get those cards, then you would just take those cards for granted, wouldn't you? It's like my boy, he just gets all these Pokemon cards, and it's just the like when they open it, it's just they're looking for those VMAXs, they're looking for the shiny one, and then when they've got it, and then it's all about the next one, isn't it? So I think keeping us on our toes is definitely not a bad thing. But I think one thing that I've definitely noticed creeping into the game is there's been a lot of like mooning bronze sort of thing, like sending bronze to the moon. I think I can definitely see the advantages of that, but I'm also thinking about the disadvantages. Like the advantages is definitely it will bring new people into the game, because like a few months ago, it must have been last August, this is one of the reasons why I probably heard about Splinterlands, about the amazing opportunity. So I think in that respect, when people are seeing all these videos like 93 bronze chests in one day, I think that's going to bring a lot of people into the game. But this is my concern. Are they the right people to be bringing into the game? I think there's going to be a percentage that will have a positive effect on the game, and there'll be those people that have a negative, and the negative ones will be wanting instant success. And I think it is not as easy to get 100 chests a day in bronze. How about you? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I have thought a lot about that as well. So, I think we've all seen Cryptmancer, Bulldog, Infidel 1258 all talk about leveraging bronze and squeezing as much juice out of bronze as possible over the next couple of weeks. Because I think everybody's been saying that, but in the same breath also saying it's not going to last forever. The reward structure is going to be adjusted to further incentivize staying in your lane at the higher levels. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder if players that enter the game come in your first season, you rent an Ulrich, you rent an Oceanus, and you kind of sweep your way through bronze and land yourself around that 100 end of season chest rewards. If you get, I think we'll use 100 chests as kind of a nice round number. If you get 33% potions, does that incentivize you to buy pack? Because I think that's kind of a big question for me is what do you, the only way to realize the value of that reward is to buy packs and apply the potion, or is that just kind of looked at as a lost reward and the real value is in the cards and DEC and packs that you're receiving? So
I think it just depends on, as you mentioned before, how long is this sustainable for?
Yeah.
You can, like, if there are more people coming into the game, then the chances of, the DEC will reduce each day, right? The more people in the game. And this is another point which seems to be rearing its ugly head again, is the return of the bots, right? I know lots of people were very happy with this new ranked reward system, that it stopped the bots, but all it has done is just made them, go back to the drawing board and reprogram their programs, right? And if it is possible to gain this amount of chests each day, then people are going to be coming back with new programs, more bots, and this could be a problem in the future, because if it's going to be easy for the bots to make this amount of money. I saw a video yesterday with Cryptomancer. He just highlighted one account and he was going through one page of this robot's account, and they had a ridiculous amount of reward cards that they had farmed. And that was just one particular card.
Well, I don't know. I've always kind of taken the stance of bots are a necessary part of a growing economy for a game like Splinterlands. And now they have to be a contributing part of the economy, which is a completely different species of bot than we've had experience with in the past. Now you can no longer, and I think this was the primary purpose of the restructuring of the ranked reward system, was you can't farm rewards without contributing to the economy. So whether you're renting cards or buying cards, I would just look at bots now as just another player that you can probably get a leg up on and get an easy win, because they're probably spamming the exact same lineup every time. They're probably sticking with the same 5, 6, 7 cards that they've either rented or purchased or farmed from awards. And I have zero problem with bots at this point.
Well, I think there's two ways to look at it. There's that way you said, you just treat it as another opponent. But I think on the flip side, yes, they are putting DEC into the game, but how much are they taking out of the game?
Well, I think it was the bots were ultimately responsible for the prices dropping so low on the previous era of rewards cards. Think, our mercenaries, our bandits, our conjurers, and some of the current common cards are slowly creeping down to those prices as well. The vampire bat is the closest at 2.5 cents. The bandit is at 1.5 cents. So for the longer term players, that's ultimately beneficial also, right? We're going to be able to, as soon as those prices reach an equilibrium with the previous era cards, I don't know about you, but that's what I'm waiting for. I'm gonna max out copies as soon as possible, as soon as those prices kind of reach their equal flooring with the previous era.
For sure. I think that's one thing that I have noted this past week. I haven't played hardly any of the new rewards cards, so that kind of tells me that people are more than likely doing what you just said, just waiting for that price to drop before they can level it up. Possibly in the lower leagues, you will see them because you don't need to level them up so much. But if you're playing in gold, you're not going to be just throwing a 1BCX ever hungry skull, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm right there with you. I don't think I've played. I think I played Venatar Kinjo once, and I whooped him. But I think you're right in that it was a 1BCX, and I think it was just somebody, maybe who had just won that card in the previous rewards, and I just want to play it and see what it's like. Yeah. But no, I haven't, outside of that, in the golds in my daily accounts, my main account. I have yet to see anybody kind of field a lineup that includes any of the new rewards cards.
I think also going back to the bots, I think it's possibly like I came to the game in August 2021, and that was when it was mooning, right? And it's quite interesting that I can't remember anyone talking about the bots. So I think this is what could be happening now is that whilst we're in this bear market and the price of cards are low, our crypto is low, people are possibly not in the greatest frame of mind, right? But when this bear market is over, then I get the feeling that we won't be hearing this negativity, whether it's rewards and not great, whether the bots are farming. I just feel that it's like anything. I remember last year, and like I witnessed it with some of my crypto when it was mooning, just like everyone in my Patreon, it was just like, it was just like every other message was just like a rocket to the moon, and nobody was like, it was just like, like being in paradise, like it was like virtual Bacardi and Cokes or whatever you want to drink by the side of the pool in your bikini.
Everyone's sipping that crypto Kool-Aid.
So I just think the negativity that I see in Discord, I think will soon fizzle out. And as we mentioned before, sometimes the loudest voices are not necessarily in the majority, right? But I think on another positive notes from this ranked reward system, I have been really enjoying playing with cards that obviously I can't own, but I can rent out because the rental market is really good for particular cards. I know your big boys like Yodin and Kitty leveled up are still, in DEC terms quite expensive, but I've been playing with cards like that I never dreamed of renting before, and seeing cards. I played against some guy last night, and I literally, this whole deck I had never ever seen before. So in terms of positivity, that's definitely been one of my this game moments for the past week.
Yeah, that's a great call. I think in our last episode we kind of touched on my initial strategy was renting a couple of summoners, but that it quickly dawned on me that's not going to be sustainable. I think everybody kind of went into the new ranks reward system assuming that at the end of each day you're striking gold and pay dirt in some big fat rewards waiting for you, but in reality that's just not the case. So the most sustainable way is to leverage the current rental market for monsters, and they've never been cheaper for higher level monsters, and I've done the same thing. I had an earth focus the last 2 days, and I rented the Mitika Headhunter, who is a card that I've kind of long had my eyes on, and I rented the Sporcerer, which is another one that's really high value card that is worthy of that value. It can single-handedly kind of change the outcome of a particular battle. So I think that's a great point that you bring up, is leveraging what's available to us and what's available to us now to make the most of our current structure of reward system is pull as much value out of the rental market as possible.
Great.
All right, well, at the suggestion of one of our fellow Phoenicians from the Phoenix server, Phoenix Arcade Discord, shout out to Hepthorn, we have been challenged to hop on to Splinterlands, challenge one another, and talk through our lineups. So, Waskel, are you ready on the receiving end for a challenge invite there, bud?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, am I ready for the kick-ass that I'm going to be getting? Well, that's what you were insinuating.
Again, open for interpretation, my man.
Always ready, man. Always ready.
All right, let's send over that invite to Gold Esquawebbit. Challenge is sent.
I always get nervous when I play you. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just too competitive.
Oh, I should stop
Spoilers,
sharing.
man.
I should stop sharing my screen. Hang on now. I like that you weren't going to say anything about that. Maybe that was the nerves this time, Kieran.
Yeah. Is he going to find out? Okay. Challenge accepted.
All right. So we've got an armored up rule set, 58 mana cat, and the available splinters are water, earth, and death.
I'm wasting no time. Straight in there. I know what you're going to play. Or do I?
Or do you? Or do you?
So some of my rentals still there from yesterday, man.
Oh, I know what you're going to play.
Oh, crap. Remind me not to tell you my focus just before we do our podcast. You taking your time over this one?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what you think I'm thinking. All right, I'm ready.
You ready? You're going for death, right?
Sure did. Let's see here.
You might as well just send me a telegram next time.
All right, so let's talk through these before we hit Rumble. So I went with an Almo up front. I've got Return Fire. I've got the Dark Haon as my taunt sitting in the second position. I've got the Jin Murat in third position, Supply Runner fourth, Insidious Warlock fifth, and Lyra, my sweetheart, pulling up the rear.
Okay,
I'm going for real quickly. I'm going for speed. I'm going for misses, and I'm going for some return fire damage.
You're going for misses. That's an interesting tactic. All right, you mean you want me to miss? All right, so I've been trying out this tactic, actually, just throwing Wave Brood at the front. When I play Yodin, I put him at the back and I put the big man Bakjira at the front. Sorry, in front of him. But I'm feeling I should have gone for tank heal just to slow you up even more, keep you guys busy. But I've got the Deep Lurker, number 3. I've got Poseidon. I could not put him in. And I've got Axemaster, but yeah.
All right. Well, looking at and
Dr. Blight at the back,
up the rear. So early predictions.
I'm gonna say I just snatch it. What about you?
Yeah, I think speed wise, the buffs are going to equal themselves out. I think I'll still have the edge with Supply Runner and Lyra and Almo. So once my taunt goes down and Almo is the primary target of your lineup, I think I might be able to squeak out the win. Dr. Blight's not going to be able to touch Almo, and even if he does, he's got immunity. The Deep
Why won't he touch Almo?
Because he's too slow and Almo's too fast, and he's got phase and immunity. But the Deep Lurker is going to pose a problem.
Yeah, and so is your Lyra. So it's going to come down to those two. But
all right, well, let's. Why don't I screen share mine and we can watch the battle together? And let's let it rumble.
Come on,
best man win. Waskel and B-Jangles showdown.
Couple
misses. There they are.
Man. What the? Bit of poison.
Just landed the poison. All right, let's see. Axemaster, 2 misses.
How come I didn't take?
And the Wave Brood is gone.
Okay, Wave Brood is gone. I repeat, Wave Brood is gone. Got to get the poison. Okay.
Right,
the horn is down. Lyra's going for my Axemaster.
The return fire.
Lyra. Got one more for Axemaster's down.
Gone.
That's not good.
Fly Runner's gone.
Should probably speed it up, man, maybe. Lyra's going for the Lurker. I think I'm done.
I don't know. You just poisoned my Insidious Warlock. That's and he's gone. All right. So Deep Lurker is going to start to target my Lyra, which could be a problem. Just don't.
No, but it's poison. Almo's down. I repeat, Almo is down.
I might be in trouble. All right,
Deep Lurker's
gone. I'm not going to be able to get through the Bakjira. Good game, man. Good game.
There she blows.
Good game. Poseidon and Blight for the win behind the blue whale wall of old Bakjira. Well played, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, inevitable.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for us here at the People's Guild. Thank you for tuning in, and we've got a pretty exciting episode coming up next week. We're going to get everybody's favorite YouTube content creator, Splinterlands creator, Aftersound. He's also the bard of the most recent Jared Scard promotion, so we'll see if we can make that songbird sing for you guys on the podcast, get you a little sneak peek of the next upcoming Splinterlands single. So be sure and come back next week for what is shaping up to be a pretty cool conversation with our buddy Aftersound.
Can't wait for that.
Anything you want to wrap up with?
No, I just think it's been a very interesting week, some up and downs, but I just think We just have to trust in the team as we have been doing. And I just think Matt knows what he's doing. I can get the feeling that he is probably, he just seemed a little bit exasperated in the town hall when he was asked some questions. I just think he just thinks it's only a week. We've got to give it time. We've got to give it at least 2 seasons. You know, the changes are in place for the abilities, which is going to be very beneficial for everyone, I believe. And
what you mean, I think it's worth pointing out, we didn't touch on that throughout the podcast, was the new focuses are coming into the mix in the next couple of weeks, more than likely.
Oh yeah, sorry, not abilities, yeah, focuses.
Well, the new focuses are going to be ability related, right? At least that's kind of what we've been led to believe, and that's immediately going to impact, I think, everybody's kind of take on the new ranked rewards. You're not going to be forced to spam particular splinters any longer to reap big rewards, and it's going to be much more difficult to kind of predict what is the focus you're going after.
I think that also might quieten down the anti-bot sentiment that seems to have risen the past few days. Is if you're going to have all these different rule sets, and it sounds like there's going to be a fair few, it's going to be difficult to program that. You know, I'm no programmer, but I can just about get onto TikTok. But I can imagine that's going to hinder the bots more than it already has done. Yeah.
Well, anyways, thanks for tuning in, and come back next week for what's going to be a pretty cool conversation.
Right. You have been listening to
The People's Guild.
Goodbye.